Hey guys, and welcome back to the Aether Hub and more Rivals of Ixalan official lore. In our last video, we witnessed as the ancient golden city of Orazca was discovered by the various tribes of Ixalan. While a faction of the Merfolk got there first, they only had a mere taste of the Immortal Sun's power before it was taken from them by the vampires of the Legion of Dusk. And still more challengers approached the Spire of the Sun to claim it for their own. Two of those challengers are the lost, forgetful, and somewhat romantically involved planeswalkers Vraska and Jace. When we last saw them, Jace was busy recalling all his lost memories since suffering from amnesia and traveling to Ixalan. In a violent telepathic episode, Jace remembers mostly everything, including how Vraska is kinda a jerk, along with being, a murderous assassin, but also a dear friend throughout their journey on Ixalan. While he's still unsure of her ultimate goal in regarding the Immortal Sun, having limited memory of how he actually arrived on Ixalan, Jace is pretty sure he can trust Vraska, who's empathetic towards all of Jace's misfortune, and is the only one who ever really related to his tortured past. He leaves that past behind him, confident that his new swashbuckling strong persona of his is in fact who he always was meant to be, and Vraska showed him that. Together the pair heads off towards Orazca, looking to claim the Immortal Sun, while many of their opponents seem to take the direct route up a golden staircase to the spire. Because of their position after falling from a waterfall, the planeswalkers enter from underneath. Here, hidden and secluded from the greater part of Ixalan for years, Jace notices true beauty, the brilliant shining gold of Orazca. Yet, despite this wonder, Jace's mind is elsewhere, in the lost memories his fragile psyche was trying to repair. There were holes, blank spots throughout his mind. Connections were lost, individual events seemed like lakes rather than connecting to a bigger ocean, and the biggest hole of all involved two dragons, and ultimately how he ended up here on Ixalan. Jace had always had problems with his memory, namely people really liked messing with it or wiping it out altogether. He's even done it to himself a few times, so the feeling of something lost wasn't new to him, but since recalling so much in such a short period of time, he did begin to enjoy the sensation of knowing everything. He tried thinking back to where he was before Ixalan. Flashes pop up behind his eyes, snippets of a picture left disjointed and incomplete. Heat, sun, sand, gold scales, lost friends. He was trying to peer into a dragon's mind, sense its plans, before darkness and nothingness overtook him. What was he trying to find out? What was he trying to prevent? He knew he looked into a powerful and ancient mind. He even sensed that he had found what he was looking for, the dragon's endgame, his goal, but it was lost to him. As he looked past the veil of the dragon's mind, the dragon lashed out, countering by attacking Jace's mind, but someone intervened. Then darkness. Another dragon came to mind, a connecting memory, reinforced by others more tattered. Yet he knew this one, its name, Ugin, a powerful planeswalker and ally, although not always the most patient or friendly ally. This simple encounter, the memory of discussing a plan, was enough for Jace to have another memory emerge. It was Ugin's contingency, a preventative measure to safeguard his memory of Ugin, to hide his knowledge of the spirit dragon. It was Ugin who placed this protection on Jace's mind, a spell that would trigger when an evil force tried to assault his mind and find evidence of Ugin himself. If that were ever to take place, the memory of Ugin would be wiped clean, and it would trigger an instinctive response to planeswalk away, specifically to the plane of Ixalan and nowhere else. This, of course, left more questions than answers. Why did Ugin need to hide his presence from this evil dragon? Why did Ugin send Jace to Ixalan with this spell and not anywhere else? What was his purpose on this plane, and what was he meant to do? Yet those were questions for another time. For now, they approached a door, and it seemed really important. It was adorned with gold and glyphs, a complex lock behind magical seals which seemed familiar. They were a maze, and Jace, being the quote-unquote maze guy, as Vraska puts it, uses his skills to trace the glyph and unlock the door. As his fingers run across the markings, a feeling dawns on him. These symbols, they are of the Azorious, the Law Mage Guild of Ravnica. This isn't good. Jace wonders if there were any prominent planeswalkers of the Azorious, ones high enough in rank to consider these symbols as part of their personal sigils. Vraska has no idea, or love for the Azorious for that matter. The fact that they may be here on Ixalan was unsettling to her. After all, it was the Azorious who beat and imprisoned her, the same reason why she assassinated innocent people to get Jace to change how things were. There was no love lost between the Azorious and Vraska, to be sure. While no specific figures came to mind, one did. The founder of the Azorious, Azor I, the Supreme Judge, a planeswalker lost for years. Jace creeps in with his telepathy to scan the old room for life. He feels it, the Immortal Sun, and something big and powerful. As the massive door flings open, Jace puts up a mental barrier to protect him and Vraska. An enormous Sphinx slowly stands and presents himself to the pair, demanding to know who they are and what they came for. Jace is taken aback. Azor was a Sphinx? Much like Alhamret, Jace felt small and insignificant in his presence. But never again would a Sphinx make a tool of Jace. This new Jace promised that. Using telepathy, Vraska tells Jace that she is ready to petrify the Sphinx in a moment's notice. Jace agrees to the plan. Azor introduces himself, cautious but commanding. Vraska demands the Immortal Sun or the Sphinx would be killed. Azor, seemingly familiar with Vraska and her past, perhaps Jace not putting up a strong enough barrier as he thought, threatens that Vraska will be a prisoner for a third time in her life. This reminded Jace so much of Alhamret, giving him the motivation to help his friend even in this extreme case. Coming to her defense, demanding Azor call her by the title Captain. Azor asks what that makes Jace, to which Jace replies, well, Jace Beleren, the living guild pact, knowing it would throw Azor off. Azor flinches, taken aback, asking, the failsafe? In a surprised gasp. Jace, however, doesn't see himself as anyone's failsafe or tool, seeing himself only as a pirate. Yep, Jace has officially branded himself as a pirate. Wonder how the Gatewatch are gonna take that when he eventually returns to his old wimpy telepath ways. Oh well, anyway, this story was really interesting, guys. We learned a lot about Jace and Ugin, shockingly. That the dragon, of course, wants to hide his presence from Bolas, who think he's dead, but also that he sent Jace to Ixalan, probably to prevent Bolas' capture of the Immortal Sun. But Jace doesn't know that yet. I'm also excited to see how Azor deals with the Living Guild Pact, and how their conflict can be resolved, along with what possible knowledge Azor is about to drop. Anyway guys, that does it for this video. Let me know what you think about this story in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave it a like, share it with your friends, and of course subscribe for more awesome MTG content in the future. As always my dudes, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.